forgot to talk. Can we just let it play the whole show?
Well, I guess we could, because I think we were.
Hold on, crank it again. Crank it again. One of the fifth best solos in the world.
I have a feeling we were probably going to be demonetized in the first 3 seconds anyway, so might as well let it just carry out, right?
It doesn't matter. At this point, none of this matters.
Nothing else, really.
Nothing else matters.
I'd expect the bad Metallica puns to come aplenty.
Ooh, yeah. This is one of those rare episodes that's really just kind of, there's only one thing in mind.
It's our thematic single topic podcast. I don't know that we've done more than just a couple of these.
Yeah, the first Yari episode.
Yeah,
I think that was all about Yari being a cunt, and a little bit about Mead.
Yeah, I know you and Ruben. The one show I missed, and that one was all around the Tool release, like around 1 year ago right now.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right. I got to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, that was one where. People that listen to the show regularly, they always think to themselves, Ruben's a nice guy, right? Yeah, listen to that show. You might catch a little bit of the angry Ruben on that one.
It's funny, how it's such a different vibe, because there are a few episodes you can go to, I think, that it's just me and somebody else. I think that's just the one.
Yeah. No, every time is either me and you with a terrible connection when you were in Wyoming.
Yes, from the bunker.
Yeah, but... and there were only I think 2 where I did a show without you.
Yeah.
Because just unable to do so. But
I mean,
by and large, most of you people getting the 2 of us fucking chuckleheads.
No, say I think this is the 187, the murder episode.
187. That's right. See, could have used that for a different theme last week.
Well, we'll kill somebody next week.
Yeah. There's enough of that going around the country.
God, no shit.
But it is the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast, and this one is a special episode, probably not going to crank out at the normal time that you would expect because, again, our focus is going to be solely on really one thing and maybe a couple of tangents, but it is the release of Metallica's S&M 2 dropping. Are we lying to everybody and saying this is Friday?
It feels like Friday.
It does feel like Friday, even though we might be recording maybe on a Thursday.
And that shit technically comes out at 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, so dropping today. We can say that. So drop it here on this Friday. And a lot of people doing the pre-buy on it, Blu-ray and everything else. We're going to be at the mercy of Mother Internet because Brandon's going to be buying it on YouTube.
Going to be streaming that shit.
And being Metallica, it is not going to be cheap.
With it having a physical release as well, it can't cost more than the physical release. It just can't. It makes no sense. It costs nothing to stream it.
And the physical release is what? $30?
$20.
Okay.
$20 for the Blu-ray.
Well, shit, that's cheaper than trying to get in and see that same show at the drive-in Saturday.
And I don't know if that's going to be a relatively available in the retail sector-wise release. I don't know if this is all strictly online.
Yeah, hard telling.
So I figured, fuck it, man. And with the way the post is working these days, who's going to get something on release day? They would have had to ship that shit out 4 or 5 days ago.
I was kind of wondering about that because what happens then if they use Amazon uses USPS or UPS and USPS. But what if they send out something and fucking lo and behold, it jumps through a lot of channels and gets there a day early? You can't have that. You can't have some asshole run around with a day release, a day ahead.
Yeah, there's too many fucking variables at that point. I know LJ pre-ordered the DVD or the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see when he gets his copy.
Because, man,
if he gets his tomorrow, I'll feel like a cunt for not doing it.
Yeah, but I don't know how that's even possible.
It's a weird thing. I mean, I know Amazon does the same thing, but they basically have total control over their shipping.
Well, I was getting ready to say, I think with Amazon, with some of their stuff, they get it to the last place, the last hub before it goes out directly for distribution, and they what the hell is it? Because you'll see the sticker on there once in a while, and it'll say that it was embargoed. embargo delivery, and they will embargo that where the delivery hub is at, and then that means they're already there. So then when it ships out and they get the green light, then it goes out for delivery perhaps that day, maybe the day after.
But then you're putting your trust in your own postal service.
Yeah.
Like, say they get that shit a week in advance. Just say it gets there laser fast. And they have to hold on to it for a week. You telling me they're not going to fucking lose it?
Yeah.
I mean, around here, I don't have a lot of faith. But I'll say this. When I worked at Hastings and Clovis, I worked in receiving. The way new releases work with us is we'd get that shit 2, 3. We sometimes get things a month in advance.
Right.
And then we'd pack it up, get it in the security shells, and then box it up and write the release date on it. And when that day came, we'd throw it out to the assholes.
Sure.
So
which are also called customers, like you people, by the way.
No, you're customer, asshole. Don't lie to yourself. It's all one and the same. There's no one here on this planet that hasn't been a bit of an asshole being a customer. So I'm wondering that if it does work, then I'm going to have to try to pre-order something as a physical release as well. I just felt like going digital streaming. I can buy it and I can own it, and it's probably going to be in the price range of like $10 to $15. The Bill and Ted Face of Music that comes out tomorrow as well, oddly enough, that's $25. But it's a movie. I mean, that shit is coming out in theaters on the same day.
Yeah.
So that price tag makes a little more sense, and then you own the fucking thing. It's not $25 to rent. If that was the case, that'd be fucking robbery.
Yeah.
I'd say double price, ticket price, but around here that'd be a little under $20.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I have a hard time. Streaming is great because that means I'm relying on my internet. My internet doesn't aggravate me 98% of the time.
That beats the percentage it was, 4 years ago?
Yeah, back when it was about a 50-50. But yeah, streaming is if you can buy it digitally and stream it, that's I think the best way. Yeah. Let me ask you, what are your percentages and trust levels of the three majors? Let's just go down the list. U.S. Postal Service. What's your percentage of trust on a scale of 1% to 100%?
I can only go by my own personal experience, and I live out in the sticks, so I have a rural carrier. It's like 40%.
Wow.
If it's not just normal mail, if I order something online, they're not going to come. If it's bigger than a mailbox, I'm not going to get it because they're not going to come put it on my property. They're going to leave me that little shit note. Says, hey, why don't you come down and pick this thing up? And then you have to wait basically the next day fucking anyway because they leave it on their goddamn truck and just travel about and do their shit.
Your carrier is a little lazier than mine.
My carrier is also deaf.
My dude will drive all the way down here to my house and come up through the gate and go, here's your stuff. You know, if it's a box that doesn't fit in my mailbox and the rest of my mail.
Well, you're kind of liked by other people in this community.
Really?
Well, the ones that fucking matter, clearly.
That one's actually a little surprising. I mean, that dude's he's been really good about that shit for a long time. And even if I'm not home, he'll come up and he'll put it on that table outside. You know, my little fucking patio table.
He knows the cats will take care of that shit.
Well, yeah, cats are pretty notorious for a couple of other things around here, but taking mail, not one.
Primarily fucking.
What's your percentage of trust level? See, mine on USPS is like 90% easy.
Yeah, you have a far better mail carrier than I do.
What about UPS?
Never had a problem. I'm lucky in that regard. 100%.
I used to have problems, but I haven't in a very long fucking time. Whatever the motherfuck's the wood around here. I haven't in a very long time. So I would have to say my experience in the last year, I'm a solid 90. I put it right there with the post office. So
okay,
about FedEx.
That's 50-50. It all depends on if someone else is holding on, if someone else is a part of the transaction as well. I'd say 50-50.
I come in at about 10. Because
you're fucking cursed in that regard.
FedEx has just shat on me on that one. They finally got something to me appropriately, but for the first time in many, many deliveries. Because they've been dropping it off at my fucking neighbor's house. I would get it if my mailbox was in front of their house, but it's not. It's not. My mailbox is in front of my long driveway. But those lazy shits were just going out there and throwing it on their porch. So I had to sign up for the FedEx delivery app, so that way it would ding me whenever they'd send an email, whenever they would label it as dropped off. And apparently, as soon as they scan that bitch, and when they get it off the truck, and they go and jump back in their bread truck, that's when it sends it to the app, and then the app sends it to me and hits me up with an email or a text going, hey, your stuff has just been delivered, which FedEx, I would look out, go, no bullshit. I don't see anything out there. And then so I'd know immediately to go down to the neighbors real quick, walk through their yard, jump up on their porch, risking getting shot, and grabbing my package and coming back to my house with it.
I'm thankfully I don't have to worry about that because one, I mean, I have a big enough property where delivery trucks aren't worried to come right up and just put things up, and they know because we basically have it plastered at every corner. Like this is the house you're looking for, motherfucker. This is the one, not that one over there.
And they have room to turn that big fucking truck around out there because you got a lot of parking out there.
Yeah, I do have what they call a circle drive. Yeah. Thank you very little. What we have
only the affluent
circle jerk
of our society with the circle driveways, much like the Clampetts on, Beverly Hillbillies.
We take pride in the small things.
Any other updates we have, Mead? We got an oaken drink.
Which Mr. Robbins is currently enjoying.
Longships, yeah. Longships is it's on point. So if you're in the local zip code, you haven't been by, might want to hit us up.
Yeah.
And other than that, I keep saying I'm going to order the Cobalt bottles. Pandemic's made me lazy.
You ain't the only one, son. You ain't the only one.
Actually, I wouldn't say lazy. I've been getting other shit done. I'm very unfocused.
I have a story to share from my week. I'll make it short because I do want to start delving into this triple layer cake that is Metallica. Work was strange.
I can usually get a vibe because usually I can tell weeks where you're just bored because you actually will message me, which is fucking unheard of. But then there are weeks where you're radio silent, and it's like, whoo, these are gonna be the ones where he's either really fucking angry, or it's like that 1 out of 1,000 where it might be like, well, it's been an awesome week. Are you crazy?
Yeah, and that's an accurate number, 1 out of 1,000. I feel like every 3 years I have a really good experience at my job. So I've had one really good experience at my job.
Usually involving blowjobs, But
that one night I should have kept that story to myself.
Yeah, well,
it's where I work. We're extremely busy. I know that this pandemic has fucked a lot of hotels. A lot.
Yep.
Almost half of them. Knocked the whole industry down 40% or something like that?
Well, shit, that one's right down the road from you guys. It looks like a fucking crime scene all the time. I mean, they've been...
That's because it is.
They've been dead down there. They've been like nobody.
I actually drove by there today. They're about half full.
Oh, are they?
They're starting to get runoff.
Oh, that's why.
A lot of people...
Because you're turning people away now.
Have to. I haven't had to take the no vacancy sign out of my window any week for the past month.
Damn.
Because we're full. All these other hotels, they actually did a story in our local paper about a hotel in Clovis, the Super 8 in Clovis. Oh, they're hurting, man. They're hurting bad. And in my mind, I'm like, bullshit. If you're hurting, it's because you don't know how to run a fucking hotel, son. Because we got a 20-year-old general manager that's getting praise. Then she half deserves, half don't. The other half needs to be spread out around 3 other people.
Right.
Primarily me.
Probably you. Yeah.
Primarily me.
As a child, that was the thing I was always most thrilled with. Because whenever my family would take a road trip probably once a year. And, we'd either go to Florida or we'd go to Colorado to see my oldest brother or whatever. Or El Paso to see my sister. All over the place from Indiana.
Yeah.
And whenever we'd stop at a hotel, I always looked because I always thought it was the most fascinating thing. It's like, so it says vacancy, but there's a no in front of that. All they got to do is flip a switch and that shit comes on. Maybe we'll be the last ones they have. And I would always look when my old man was checking out. I always look out. Nope, wouldn't light up. So I was always waiting for that one time when we'd have that last room. Last room.
You have really dated yourself to a certain time in American history.
Yeah, I'm an old bastard.
I
know
the neon no vacancy sign. Fuck yeah. I wanted to work at a hotel that had that. Instead of having to print out a piece of paper, do something so dumb to tell people we're not full, but have a fucking big old neon sign. It's like, we're at capacity. Clean.
Yeah.
Get that good buzz going.
The old man liked Best Western.
And you know,
and they look back in that day, and this is in the late 70s. Yeah, late 70s, maybe early 80s, but late 70s definitely. That shit was so garish and like fucking early 60s looking. Like, what? I mean, I look back at that now thinking, what the fuck was wrong with that brand? They didn't update that after like 1961. Like, Kennedy's in office. It's going to be good from here on out. We'll just stay with everything.
Oh. Okay, let me get back to the story.
Got you a little off track here.
Shit, that's all right. It cheered me up a little bit. So I start my week. I drive up to the fucking hotel, and they're just basically having a party out here in the front area. A party to the point where if we had a room to sell, see all these workers here, they feel like the hotel is theirs.
Well, and if you stay somewhere long enough, you get that,
and
right?
it doesn't help that everybody reinforces that fucking ideology, except for me. Because they fucking trashed the place, dude. I mean, you remember, like, there were some nights where maybe Ruben had one too many Chardonnays and decided to go eat some potato chips, and you'd come in, there'd be like a little bunny trail to the fucking couch. That kind of shit times 100. Fucking cigarette butts everywhere, beer bottles and the like, which apparently their brand is Michelob Ultra.
Well, because it has so few carbs, and you got to watch
Fuck
that
figure.
Man.
These guys are like doing fucking back-breaking work. You can have a fucking 12er of beer. You're gonna burn it out your ass the next day anyway.
Yeah.
But so these assholes finish up their little party they're having because I said, "Hey man, it's almost midnight. Can you turn your fucking boombox down and maybe last call perhaps?" Which thankfully, apparently, they respect the badge enough to go get that done because they love our manager so much and want to be in her good graces.
And
that they don't.
And a few other things too.
Yeah, we'll get into that next week. So finally, that riffraff is done. I'm like, finally, now I can do my work and enjoy this quiet evening. Pardon me, damn, at the post. And this woman in a muumuu, I see, breaks out of the darkness on my security camera and is walking forward to the hotel. And I haven't even had a chance to lock the door yet. And so it's like a horror movie. I'm fumbling for the keys, trying to get my doors locked. Fuck off. Yeah, I didn't do it in time because I wasn't prepared. And I still kind of have this sciatic nerve issue.
Yeah.
So going from standing to prone just is still a little bit of a chore. She breaks into my hotel. I'm calling it that because this fucking woman was insane, bro. She comes in and she's already talking in a tone I can't understand or even fucking hear because it's very down. Like
she's low talk.
Very monotone and like mumbling. She looks like she's been out in the sun for 3 days straight.
Well, if you wear a muumuu, what are you going to look good?
I'm talking like a muumuu and a pair of British Knights from like '88. I shit thee nay. And they look.
Okay.
They
so
look.
A Goodwill then. A Goodwill shop.
Yeah. From a Goodwill from 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And she comes in and she's like, "Do y'all have park service here?"
I'm like, park service?
Like, what do you mean, like a Koa campground kind of thing?
Yeah.
Clearly this bitch is needing a shower or something. I'm like, "No, ma'am, sorry, we don't have any type of park or camp service here." "Oh, you got a bus?"
A bus?
Like, I think a Greyhound occasionally stops at McDonald's every once in a while. "So, where's the next closest town?" That would be Clovis, about 20 miles northeast of here. Just stay on this highway.
Right.
Which is my way of saying just get the fuck out
Yeah.
and however
Please
the fuck
leave.
whatever conveyance brought you here, use it to get the fuck out of my hotel. And then she asked me, "Where's Ruidoso?"
Oh.
Like, that's about
It's the other direction on the same highway, Lord knows.
Well, you had about an extra hour and a half to 2 hours of travel, depending on your driving. And then she drives, I walked from Roswell. And I shit you not. I don't believe she did. I don't believe it. But if you just looked at her, you might believe she's been walking for a while.
But we're 90 miles from Roswell.
Yeah,
Ruidoso's
92.
70 miles from
92,
Roswell.
and she was trying to get to Ruidoso, she said.
Yeah.
I said, well, if you walked here from Roswell, you went fucking 92 miles in the wrong direction.
Roswell's the hypotenuse, ma'am.
Well, smart people don't come from Roswell.
No.
Even when you pass through, you lose IQ points. You gain a few shadow points, but thankfully you can get that shit out when you hit Ruidoso. We'll say that's a different podcast for another time. So I'm answering all these questions, and then she wants me to take her pulse because she thinks her heart stopped.
Well, that's clearly in your job description, right?
I don't touch anybody.
Fuck no.
Even that fucking meth head that had the digits blown off of his hand, that ginger cocksucker from way back.
I don't touch people.
He wanted me.
digits.
Yeah, he had like, hey man, could you put this bandana on my blood-covered hand that's missing 3 fingers? Let's go fuck yourself. Here's some tape. You'll figure it out. So while this insane woman is just chatting, and she never raises her voice, so I really never hear, outside of the 5 questions I caught, what's going on.
Large woman, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Like, you know
because
how...
I don't think skinny broads can wear a muumuu. I don't think they can pull that off.
No. Like, if it was a nightgown, maybe, but even then, that'd have to be, like, from the late 1800s. So, as she's talking, I'm like, ma'am, here's a bottle of water. Give her a bottle of water. I'm like, go have a seat over there at that chair. You look tired. I fucking call an ambulance.
I've stayed in hotels before. You had to be thinking, ching, ching. Water, $2. $2, lady.
You look parched, lady. Would you like some Propel? Now, that's $3. So I call her an ambulance. I don't know. It was either a cop or an ambulance. And I figure if you call an ambulance, you might get both with the description I'm about to provide.
Well, you dialed 911, right?
Yeah, I remembered it.
Yeah. Well, because they're the ones that figure that out. You don't necessarily call and go, yeah, I'm going to need you to send.
I need the heavies.
I'm going to need a fire unit with a ladder. I'm going to need an ambulance, maybe with 2 attendees. I'm going to need a
National Guard.
They figure it out for you. You don't have to tell them what you need.
And I want at least one hardcore military guy because he might be able to fix everything. Send me Bruce Willis from Die Hard.
Want somebody with a high and tight haircut, flat top.
Send me John Cena. So the ambulance comes after I've given this description. Like, she says she's walked all the way from Roswell. She strikes me as local, which turned out, of course, she was. Just some weird, gnarly 50-year-old fat woman fucking losing her mind.
Damn it.
But I did my fucking part by not just saying, get the fuck out of here, dummy. What are you doing here? Get the fuck out right now. And then lock the door and fuck off. You don't fuck off, then I'll call down and need the cops instead. And then they'll call the ambulance. And it won't be my problem.
So as it is, you let them just go ahead and talk her out of leaving? What?
No, the fucking ambulance came, took her to the hospital.
Oh, they did take her away. Okay.
Apparently they took her vitals. Like, oh yeah, she's kind of fucked up.
Probably from a checkup from the neck up, probably.
Well, hey, you know, I mean, fuck, man. What would you do? Because I've had instances where, like in Albuquerque, after the Blind Guardian concert, we stopped at a Circle K right outside of, right when you're about to head out of Albuquerque proper, and there was like a woman passed out on the ground. This was January. By a payphone and go in and like ask, hey, could you call 911? There's a woman passed out. She might be freezing to death. And he wanted nothing to do with it. He's like, oh, you can call if you want to.
Yeah.
Here's the love.
That's the morality of that fucking soulless goddamn town of Albuquerque up there.
Everybody fucking wonders where the love went. The love left a long time ago, bitches. And now I'm done.
Back to the Metallica fucking show right here with the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast talking about nothing but Metallica.
Yeah,
today on the metal side.
I almost wish we had a few more people to chime in.
I thought about
like an event. Thought about maybe getting a hold of Daryl, having to send a little something. But I don't really know if he's a Metallica guy. He doesn't. It's not a band that he brings up.
No, I mean they're on his radar. Sure.
Well, yeah.
But,
fuck it. Metallica's not on your radar. You're a little dumb.
Well, or you just refuse. You know,
well, your radar of knowing who they are and what they do.
Yeah, no, I mean they're on his radar. I'd be willing to bet that guy. I'd be willing to bet that guy probably plays back at least one Metallica track every 2 days. I bet.
Yeah.
I bet that's probably about the frequency. Maybe 2 or 3 days.
He has like a little set group of jams that he likes to visit every once in a while.
I'd be willing to bet he's got at least one track that comes up every couple of days.
Fucking A. And I thought about getting hold Jack's voice, we'd have to distort. but he's been to a fucking Metallica concert in San Francisco, and that's kind of like in I can't remember the exact time period, but I think it was during the Black Album release.
Yeah.
Which is,
I think it was right around there, yeah. I don't think it was, because Load's the next one.
Yeah,
after,
that was 94.
So, yeah, I think it was Black Album.
Yeah, you can't really brag too much about seeing him on the Load Reload tour. I would give you props for it. Like, oh, man, I bet that was awesome.
He talks highly of their really old stuff, though, right? Ride the Lightning?
Jack?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
know he digs, like, One off of Justice.
I'm pretty sure.
I know he digs Puppets.
I think he's probably a pre-Black Album guy.
Wow. I might have to ask him about that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's the case.
Yeah.
I know he's not a real huge fan of anything that they've done in recent years. But.
Well, then we can't be friends. Sorry, if you. Well, it's okay. It's okay to like that shit, but once you start telling other people they're dumb and wrong for liking shit after 1991.
Yeah, no,
that's when you're a cunt, and I used to be that cunt.
Oh yeah, no, I was getting ready to say he's not even close to that. Thought about maybe like Ruben and Krista, but we're going to be watching the show with them. Ruben's actually a really smart one to pull up on that, because you guys could have riffed for a very long time, probably too long. So it's maybe a good thing.
Yeah, Ruben and I have been known to have conversations that are too long.
Yeah, that guy, guy's very excited. He started posting shit on social media Wednesday, I think.
That's what I like. Ruben makes the thing an event.
Oh yeah,
the Fear Inoculum thing. If Ruben had been here, shit, it'd just been you and me jamming it and getting our minds blown.
Yeah.
But Ruben made it feel like we had to go get like a cheese platter. And maybe a stripper, maybe one.
This feels really grown up in here.
Yeah, it's like it has the build of the wine and cheese event because the MC is coming.
Well, the MC is coming in the name of Lowdown, also known as LJ, with this week's metal update, and also within the theme, talking about all things themed Metallica.
I hear that's it's a band he likes.
I think that's near the top of his list. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think
they're in his definitely in LJ. I think they're in his top 3.
I would have said top 5, and I would have put Metallica at the bottom.
I don't know. I think he's probably right there at the solid 3. I bet.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll ask him for the next show. I don't know.
Number 4. I'm gonna give him number 4,
yeah.
And number 3 is Megadeth. I know that. That's what he's gonna say.
Man, I've almost talked myself into putting him at number 2 on his list now. So, fuck it. Let's get to the update this week. It's time for the Lowdown, all the way from downtown. LJ.
First up, shout out to Mr. James Hetfield for being one of the many reasons I was able to maintain sobriety, and also the main influence when it came to me writing some really awesome, memorable riffs. I first knew of Metallica sometime in the mid-90s by seeing Beavis and Butthead. I knew who AC/DC was, but no clue who Metallica was. I think it was in 2000 that I asked my metalhead brother Denny Paul who they were, and all he said was, "Oh, that band that plays with an orchestra." And that was how I came to know them. It was in 2004 that I first got a hold of one of their albums, the Black Album, and the damn thing was barely over a decade old, and I was digging it, but not as much as I would their earlier ones. In 2004, my friends went to go see Metallica, and I sort of bitched out because I did not know what a concert would be like, and I was a wimpy little 17 or 18-year-old, scared of everything. So in 2006, I was leaving work and saw the album Ride the Lightning on a shelf in electronics. I bought it and jammed it in the car, a shitty little 1992 Mercury Sable with a tape deck connected to a CD player. After I heard Fight Fire with Fire, it was true love. The very next day, I bought Master of Puppets, and then Saint Anger, then And Justice for All, then Kill 'Em All. I had no idea what order the albums went in and assumed that Master of Puppets was actually a new album. It was sonically the best shit I had heard, and still is. Believe me when I say I was floored to know what came out in 1986, a whole year before I was even born. Saint Anger and Injustice for All became favorites of mine, with the latter being my all-time favorite, and Saint Anger now being like third place with Ride the Lightning in second place. I eventually heard that album they made with an orchestra and was brought almost to tears with how fucking awesome it was. This was my all-time favorite band. I remember pre-ordering Death Magnetic in 2008, buying Guitar Hero Metallica the next year for PS2 and loving it despite that being the worst version of the game, but playing it nonstop for weeks, then dragging 4 of my friends to an empty IMAX theater in 2014 to see Through the Never, pre-ordered the deluxe edition of Hardwired, which I have listened to so much it is now unlistenable, and in 2019 went to an actual Metallica concert with my soulmate, best friend, and wife Neva to see them kick our asses mere months before James went back to rehab. What timing. COVID just happened after he came out. Now, 20 years later, Metallica's pairing with the symphony once again with a different conductor, rest in peace, Michael Kamen, and they're doing songs from Hardwired and also Saint Anger. Now, speaking of anniversaries, the 1988 thrash metal classic And Justice for All is about to have its 32nd birthday as of September 7th. Gonna be real happy about that one. The first S&M was bittersweet for me. It was amazing, don't get me wrong. It floored me, it opened and closed perfectly, but the sheer number of songs from Load and Reload is kind of absurd. I'm not arguing their choices, but I would have liked to hear them play Creeping Death, or The Four Horsemen, or Harvester of Sorrow, rather than Until It Sleeps, Bleeding Me, or Hero of the Day. That being said, my issue is with how ballady Load is and how rockin' Reload is. I mean, what about King Nothing, or Ronnie, or Ain't My Bitch? Ah, well, beggars can't be choosers, and they played Outlaw Torn at least, which is probably one of my favorite songs off Load, other than Cure and King Nothing. I loved the arrangements, too. They made it so the band sounded accented rather than playing along with them or playing over them, and in some places the orchestra was absent to allow Metallica to do their thing. The DVD also had an option to listen to the songs with the symphony only or the band only, but why the fuck would you do that when they sound great together? Frankly, Metallica sounded sonically their best in S&M, and I've been dying to try and achieve that guitar tone. So rich and fat. The scores sound amazing, and my favorite song of the bunch is One. Best song on there. Second only to No Leaf Clover, in my opinion. How bold they were even to attempt to make brand new songs with a symphony. That takes some serious Metallica balls, and those guys are known for one thing and one thing only. Experimentation, where no band has gone before. Now, let's all go back to the Mead Hall and pretend that Lulu never happened. I didn't say anything. Oh, and one more thing. Metal up your ass! Now get out there and buy S&M 2 and show Metallica we want them to hang around for another 20 years so we can get S&M 3. Take it away, Kevin and Brandon.
God damn it.
He's actually that's starting to turn into a real anchor of a spot for this show. For this show, it's a real that dude brings it every time. Even the day, like his bad days are about right on par with my really good days.
Yeah,
energy wise.
Yeah, well, that's what if you have an association with Ruben Gonzalez in your life at any point, he infuses energy. And your ability to fucking utilize energy he provides.
Right.
Sometimes more to his leisure and whim.
Yeah,
but,
there's that.
But he always brings fucking energy. He fucking gets you ready to go do something. He can convince you that, yeah, you can do that. Sure, throw that boulder on your fucking head and walk 100 yards. You can do it.
Well, let me ask you then. Since we've already got LJ's take on it all, so this is all in preparation for S&M 2. The symphonic orchestra there, and the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra.
The same they did the initial one with, minus Michael Kamen, because passed away
a
while back due to cancer, I believe.
Yeah, but so the whole thing is really the big setup for S&M 2 dropping Friday, August 29th. Tell me what your 28th. Goddamn, calendar is yeah. What was your experience and your take on S&M 1? Which dropped? What year was that?
That was 2000.
That's 3?
And hold on, that's just studio albums. I'm usually really good just having it right at the cusp, but
yeah, but I kind of threw you a curveball here.
Yeah,
keeping things organic or orgasmic, where I'm concerned.
Not Lulu. Certainly not that. November 23rd, 99.
Oh, shit. That wasn't even the 2000s yet then. So that means you were but a youngin'.
Still in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know why I sound like Carmen. I was in ski.
So did you see it when it dropped? Did you go to a theater?
Man.
Okay.
No, it didn't. It had already happened. They recorded it. This was back when this shit wasn't being done live.
Well, and the one that we're going to see tomorrow was actually recorded September of last year.
Yeah, it's a year old.
Yeah.
It'll be almost a year old when it comes out. The initial S&M was recorded in April of 99. When it came out, I went to Walmart because I knew that there wasn't going to be This is back when Walmart would, if it had parental guidance on it, you're getting radio edits and bleep curse words.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I knew that this wasn't going to have any of that. So when Walmart released it, I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to go all the way to Clovis to get it. I fucking went after SKU, picked up that fucking album, and I went to Ruben's house. And I was like, Ruben, I got it.
So you guys did the audio then?
Yeah. They didn't have the DVD. Which I still have my VHS of S&M. Back
well,
then,
99. That was the main medium,
and it came with a bonus VHS of like a 45-minute making of. Thank you, Dragon's Lair. Long may you rest and reign. But we just had, like we're gonna do tomorrow, we had a fucking listening party in Ruben's bedroom. We put it in his little fucking boombox, threw on a fucking video game, and like started jamming it and fucking playing PlayStation.
So when's the first time you saw the video copy?
A week later when I went to Dragon's Lair to buy it.
Okay. Were you more blown away, about the same or less blown away, in seeing the visual, what the visual was, compared to just getting the audio?
It didn't make the overall enjoyment any better.
Okay.
It was nice. It looked great. And the DVD that came out a little bit later had where you could lock in on, you could watch Lars play one song beginning to end.
Okay.
You could lock in on any of the players.
That's really handy if you're a fucking musician, man. It's very handy.
Very true. Very true. And a lot of it was point of view. So you were getting fretboards. Sometimes they'd have one right at James's microphone, so you just see that cowardly lion maw of his. But it was, and just like S&M 2 coming out tomorrow was a double disc. It was over 2 hours long. S&M 2's got it beat by about a half hour.
2 hours and 40 fucking minutes.
Yeah, the album version's $1.33.
Yeah,
so 2 hour 13.
Looking forward to it. And that's going to be one of the big events of 2020 here at the Meadery. The other one's going to be the Deftones release next month.
Bro, we have not had a chance to talk about Deftones.
This is not the episode. I don't
That's true.
think, probably, but
I'll just say this. It was really good, really good.
We have Pallbearer's release coming out in October, and we have Lucid Planet's release in November.
And Mastodon. September.
And we're going to get the remix of White Pony, which the Deftones have lovingly called now Black Stallion. They've assured us that's coming out before the end of the year. Now, the other problem is going to be Eros, but I don't think that's ever going to get released.
Well, it's been discussed more than it has been in the past.
Every couple of years, right?
But Tool is there's been some years where all Tool talked about was the new album, and we got nothing.
Yeah, and the Deftones and Tool run a pretty close parallel on some things.
It's a very protected piece of work.
Well, as it should be. The biggest thing that bums me out is social media, because I got on thinking, people are like really talking about the Deftones single that they'd released last week. Ohms, which is going to be by the same title of the album coming out here in about a month. And I went ahead and made the mistake of looking at the comments, and I thought, oh, wait a minute. I look like fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I've seen this before.
Now, are we talking the Alec Guinness?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, that's the only one.
Ewan McGregor's was good.
It was
His
fine,
was good, but
no.
There's only one.
It's like, no, I've seen this before. And that was last year when Tool put out Fear Inoculum. Oh, and I saw it the year before that when Alice in Chains put out Rainier Fog. Every time a major band, I don't even know, I'm using a term I don't even know what it is, a AAA band.
AAA.
Yeah.
Well, your training league. Your farming league.
It's the top. It's the top of the top, right?
AAA.
I guess. But
anyway, I automatically thought about cars.
And I was thinking, well, you kind of covered the baseball side of it, but apparently, if it's a AAA band, a AAA video game, a AAA publisher, it's whatever the top of the top is. And I think you could probably call Tool that. Certainly, you could call Alice in Chains that, Deftones. The thing is that you get assholes that suddenly become historians and talking about how with the Deftones, how adrenaline and Around the Fur were their favorite records of all time. And they haven't done anything worth a shit ever since. Or even maybe as late as White Pony. And it's like, oh, so nothing from 2000 and beyond.
Yeah, you're still fucking listening, you bunch of cunts.
It's like, wow, what are you? You're waiting for that. You're waiting for that adrenaline energy to come back and a bunch of old men. Get the fuck out of here.
If you're a fucking asshole and you hold on to a band for an extra 20 fucking years because White Pony came out in 2000, and you hate everything from White Pony on, well, fuck you. You're a glutton for punishment then, and clearly an idiot.
We had the same thing last year. Last year with Tool. Everybody was on it about how, Undertow and Anima were the fucking, that was it, and everything else is dog shit, Before that, Alice in Chains and Rainier Fog the year before, so back in 2018. Yeah. And people are like, oh, yeah, well, if it doesn't have Lane in it, it's not Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains has been dealing with that for almost 15 fucking years.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I found that social media allows too many assholes with bad opinions. And they look at something and go, oh, I feel I must weigh in.
It's almost a year to the day that Ruben has said exactly the same fucking thing.
And you know what? We're going to see another fucking big release probably in August of next year, August or September, by another quote-unquote AAA band. And it's going to be something that blows us away, but motherfuckers are already going to be shooting it down before it even gets. That's the problem I'd had is because this is only the single. This is only the single.
My fucking joy is not derived from the opinion of others.
No. And I thought, well, I could counter troll, but fuck that. That's energy. And I've got better things to use my energy on.
Yeah, I'll react to, I'll fucking throw the ha-ha emoji up anytime Yari Menapa talks about buying a new desk. But that's about it. That's how I troll. Be like, oh, that's great. Yeah, you keep doing you goddamn fucking idiot.
No. Yeah, it's, man, everything online is just toxic now. Toxic, man.
That's why I stay away from it, man.
Fuck. Who's probably the safest musician that you know that I've played with? Would you say probably maybe Dave Burks?
Probably.
That dude caught so much shit on his Facebook page.
For saying that good speech?
Yeah, it said the First Lady gave a good speech. And motherfuckers lost their minds.
I have been following that, yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this?
That was weird. They're eating their own now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, this guy, motherfuckers, you people that have stood around and laughed and drank with this dude, and all he said was the First Lady gave a good speech. That was it, and you're fucking losing your mind over that?
I mean, if you pair it with, because Mr. Burks doesn't hide that he's a pro-Trump cat.
Right.
And uses his Facebook to let folks know that.
Yeah, but he doesn't go crazy with it.
No.
He once a week, maybe?
He keeps it. I mean, but it has there. It's there, and it has that vibe. It doesn't matter how good a place it comes from that you're a Trump supporter. Not that I'm fucking judging anybody for that. I don't support anybody. But especially on social media, more people are going to come out and fuck you on it than pat you on the back. And it shocked me to see that many people fucking call out who is a good guy. It's a good man.
Well, and we got to keep in mind, these people generally are all trop rockers, the laid back hippies with a beach kind of fucking vibe.
Right.
And just coming out with some of the most vile shit I've really witnessed for a long time.
Yeah. Like wow. One guy in particular, and that fucking blows me away. Like, mate, there is something to it goes fucking both ways.
Oh, no, I'm not saying the one.
And I'd almost say when it comes from the goddamn left side, it's full of far more fucking venom. Republican folk call you a snowflake and a dummy.
Right.
These fucking people wish hot fire and death upon you.
Yeah, that's a fact. And that's the problem. And it's dog shit. And I recognize that our system's actually fucked up to a point of where I don't think you got to scrap the whole goddamn thing. But man, we got to break out more than a wrench here, right?
God damn it. Maybe a little bit of WD-40.
Yeah, maybe a little C4.
Now, if we're working on pipe, you need to break out that sledgehammer and hit them collars. Because the rust, it's going to be hard to crank that pipe. You're going to have to knock the rust off that sledge.
What the fuck was that from?
I just channeled my grandfather.
Oh, because I was like, man, that sounds like some shit that like the Coen brothers would have put.
That was Bob Hobbs talking through me for 5 seconds.
Well done, sir.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Like I said, this is probably not going to hit our full normal. We aim for like an hour 5 usually.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to really delve into the MMA side of things this week.
Fuck it. There's not a whole lot going on. We'll revisit that shit more closer that we get to the Adesanya Costa card.
Man, I'm starting to already get a lot
But
of hype.
I would like to go through the set list that we'll be enjoying tomorrow.
Oh, so we already know. Well,
Oh,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
We knew it a year ago.
Yeah.
But as far as the album goes, it opens up with Ecstasy of Gold, because of course, which is a little more poignant now that Ennio Morricone has passed.
Yeah.
In the interim. But and that's Metallica's go-to, I think, since '84. They opened every show with that.
And it took me a second to remember. It's like, oh, that's fucking right. They did use one of those brothers, right?
Yeah, and they even on the We All Love Ennio tribute disc, they did a full band version of it, which sounds fucking dope. Then you're getting Call of Cthulhu, which was on S&M as well.
I was getting ready to say, I wonder how many of these they revisit again.
That's why I want to go through this, because a lot of these I will have heard, and I doubt they've changed a lot.
Right.
No point in changing a formula that worked in the last.
Sure.
You're just doing it with a bunch of new cats, so it's going to sound different regardless. For Whom the Bell Tolls, on the last one. The Day That Never Comes, off of Death Magnetic. That's going to be your first one. Looking forward to that. And honestly, I'm looking forward to all the new shit. I'm looking forward to the old shit, too. I'm looking forward to all
anything 2000 and beyond.
Yeah. Right after that, Memory Remains, off of S&M. Still a kick-ass jam. Confusion, off of Hardwired. And then, going back to back from Confusion to Moth into Flame.
Oh, damn it! That's
one that we've seen. Well, no, that's they released the video, but we're like, fuck, we've seen 2 already.
Right.
Let's keep some of this fresh and hearty.
Right.
Outlaw Torn, which that's going to be about a solid 10, 15 minutes right there. But that was also on the first S&M. No Leaf Clover. You got to have that.
Wow.
Well, it's only, but it was made for. Well, it wasn't made for. It was kind of a riff in progress, and they just made it into a song for the initial S&M.
Right.
And they closed out the first set with Halo on Fire off of fucking Hardwired. So it's about 50-50 on new shit. But a lot of the good shit from the first one. The second disc, I don't know, Scythian. Scythian?
Wow.
Scythian Suite?
Right.
Offer 20-second movement.
So this is actually the orchestra is going to do the thing. Okay.
Yeah, unless Metallica just comes out and it's like, oh, instead of these assholes doing all our stuff, we learned some classical music. We're going to rock your heads off.
Which I don't think we're getting a lot of yucks.
The second song is Iron Foundry. I don't know what that is. That has to be another. I feel like this is the breather moment.
Right.
Like, we're not going to see the band. Because this isn't 20 years ago. They probably
it might be the symphony doing like a metal jam.
Yeah, like doing their solos while everyone gets a blowjob and a glass of water.
Well, and being the old guys they are, probably actually a little drop in the hot tank,
Get them muscles ready. Unforgiven 3, off of Death Magnetic. Very cool. All Within My Hands, which we have heard. That was the first video they put out.
They dropped that one.
And thankfully, it's the new acoustic version that they've worked on and not the actual Saint Anger version, because that is us.
That's the first showing by. No, that's the first showing by
Saint Anger.
I think so, right?
Yeah, and they had to really retool it to make it, because the I don't think the symphony could have worked with the Saint Anger album version.
Right.
Have you ever heard the All Within My Hands on Saint Anger?
I've done like 2 playthroughs on Saint Anger. And other than that, I'm kind of usually at the mercy of whoever's throwing on tunes around here late at night when I've already imbibed a bit much. So I
take a lot.
And I'm sure I've heard Saint Anger several times, but I mean, as far as playthroughs, dude, I couldn't even tell you which fucking track that is.
That's the last track.
Oh, well, never mind. Fuck that one. Okay.
After that, they're throwing on the fucking Cliff Burton bass solo from Kill 'Em All, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth. That's really cool.
I was waiting to see when they would reach that technology level, and I'm assuming they'll probably do it with a huge video screen, an homage.
Fuck that. I think, I personally think this is going to be a guy on a cello doing Cliff Burton's bass solo.
Yeah.
And
which I think is okay.
Yeah,
I don't think you can get Robert Trujillo.
Ever since Robert Trujillo joined the band, when Newstead was in the band, he probably did, but it's not something that is easily found. Robert Trujillo fucking plays Anesthesia all the time.
Oh, I have no doubt. But really for that, if it's going to be a video homage to Cliff Burton.
No, he more does it because it's by himself, and then Lars and Kirk fucking come in and do a little riff near the end. That's the pulling teeth part.
Right.
And that's more like a breather for them and James. But this, I feel, will be kind of the same thing, only instead of Robert Trujillo, it's going to be an actual fucking cello.
That'd be badass if that's,
I hope
that's
so.
the case.
I hope so. Wherever I May Roam coming up after that, clearly on the first S&M. Not a lot of the Black Album representation on this is relatively small, and I kind of dig that. After that, you got one, because you got to have a little one in your life. Off the first S&M. After that, Master Puppets. Nothing else matters. And then you close with Enter Sandman. Now, it seems to me like the first part of the set list is where they're exerting all their energy to the point where they need to have this little break. And then on the second set, it really seems like that this is, they're not saying they're mailing it in on the second part, but they're not really being asked to do too much. They're playing their hits. They got a breather thanks to the orchestra, and that's a good way to send the crowd home happy is to fucking play 4 of your biggest hits in a row.
Yeah, no, that's I was kind of curious what the close is going to be. You don't want to have people stand around scratching their head going, "Fuck, did I just hear?"
Yeah, no shit, right?
At the end of your 2-hour and 40-minute performance,
Well, I'm fucking looking forward to it, man.
It's going to be coming up. The Friday, August 28th, S&M 2.
Be there or be a cunt.
It's a rare thing for us to focus an entire podcast around just one event, but it's actually probably going to happen a couple times this year. So,
well, I mean, if we can be blessed in one aspect of our existence, and it's music, fucking A, man, I'll take it.
Yeah.
There are 4 albums I'm looking forward to in the next 60 days.
Yeah, and maybe 5 if Coheed, because there's been some rumors going on. A lot of rumors.
Are they going to do nothing but 80s song sequels?
That'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't it?
That Jesse's Girl 2 is pretty fun.
It is. I mean, but if
and props to Rick Springfield for still having some pipes. I'm sure there was a little help there in the post.
Yeah.
But he for fucking being almost 70. That fucking guy looks amazing.
Yeah, that dude is. I think he is around 70. I think
like
70, 71.
Late 60s. I remember I looked it up. Well, I remember the process. I don't remember the result.
Right.
But he is like late 60s.
No, we
70.
were all stunned because that dude, when Jesse's Girl came out, that guy was like already knocking on the door of 40. He was like in his late 30s.
Yeah, he was in, what was it, General Hospital?
Yeah.
And he was in his 30s then. Wrote
Man.
Jesse's Girl when he was my age, probably, which that's a weird song to write if you're 38.
It's a little bit. All right. Let's go over to the picks for the week. What's your drink, sir?
My goddamn friendly red and white can, which after Denver will be saying goodbye to for a little while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're both going on a soccer mom.
I'm going to join you.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking join you on this one.
I guess I'm going to throw down a little Echoes of Ancients long ships, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, fuck, that goes without saying on this.
All right. Listening for the week, I guess.
Be sure to fucking catch Ohms
by
Deftones.
Deftones is definitely my pick
Title
on the
track, closing track on the album. Give it a listen.
week. Ballsy.
Ballsy as fuck, yeah.
Last track on the record.
Expose your heart.
Yeah. All right, and then fights. Well, fuck, I think there's a card this weekend. Not that you'd really know it.
I think Ruben and Krista have a disagreement over what the best song on S&M 2 is.
She armbars him, taps him out.
Second round. Ruben puts up a fight. He's not going to get finished in the first. He will get finished in the second. As soon as his ass hits the fucking the stool on the end of the first round, it's over.
All right. Well, we'll be back, I don't know, a week or two. But anyway, check out S&M 2. That's kind of what you owe it to yourself to do. And we're certainly not making money off this podcast today.
Yeah, fuck it. So why don't we just let the gents speak for themselves?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go get drunk, huh?
Twice.